lot of you have already come across tons of videos about the Find X9s Pro lately, but most of them feel more like someone reading straight from the manual. So let's do something a bit different here. Think of this as a quick preview. 3 strengths, 2 drawbacks, and 1 clear buying recommendation. If you actually want to get a real sense of what the Find X9s Pro is about, you're in the right place.
A quick shout to my tech partner from China for sharing this video. A big thank you for making this possible. Hey everyone, it's Maiky from techmaiky. If you love staying updated with the latest gadgets, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss out our exciting tech content.
All right, let's start with the design, as always. The most noticeable change compared to the rest of the X9 lineup is this newly added area around the camera module. And honestly, it makes you wonder, was this space really just created to place the Lumo imaging logo? On earlier models, the lens module didn't exactly align with the phone's corners, but it had its own identity. The raised metal frame and slightly irregular internal layout gave it a unique look, even if it wasn't perfect. Now, with this wider glass platform merging into the back panel, things feel a bit off. Once it extends toward the frame, the corners don't line up properly. And to be frank, it doesn't look very appealing. And then there's the free white color. I'm genuinely curious how that name was chosen, because this is not white in any traditional sense. It leans more toward a very light bluish purple tone. Sure, it's subtle, but calling it white feels misleading. If you're planning to go for the white variant, you might want to think twice before making that choice. On the other hand, the orange option is a gradient finish that actually looks quite good. It's much more toned down compared to Apple's orange, less saturated and easier on the eyes. Now, let's get into what really matters, the 3 advantages, 2 downsides, and 1 buying suggestion. First up is the size. This is one of the biggest strengths of the Find X9s Pro. It manages to keep the overall dimensions in check while still packing in features that usually require a much larger body. You're getting the Dimensity 9500 chipset, a 7025 mAh battery, 80-watt wired charging, and 50-watt wireless charging, all in a more compact form factor. Compared to my own Find X, you can clearly see the reduction in size, and the camera setup is still very solid. Personally, I think a 6.32-inch display hits the sweet spot. It feels great in the hand and makes everyday use more comfortable. Yes, the thickness has gone up slightly by about 0.4 millimeters, now sitting at 8.4 millimeters, but it still feels well balanced and easy to hold. When you compare it to something like the OnePlus 15T, which has a similar size and weight, the difference in build quality becomes pretty obvious. The Find series just feels more refined, with better attention to detail. The second advantage is the camera versatility. Now, on paper, the sensor size has dropped compared to the previous 1.128-inch Samsung HPE sensor. It's now around 1.4 inches, but in real-world use, the image quality still holds up impressively well, especially considering the compact body. You still get that 200-megapixel telephoto lens, along with a 50-megapixel ultra-wide, which are both familiar but effective. Honestly, fitting this kind of dual high-resolution setup into a phone of this size is quite impressive. It feels like a very well-balanced solution. And then there's Master Mode, which continues to be one of the highlights. It's powerful but still easy to use, and the photos it produces feel much closer to what you'd expect from a real camera. The images come out looking clean and natural, almost like they've skipped that overly processed digital look. If you're someone who wants to explore mobile photography, understand lighting, and really capture the contrast between highlights and shadows, Master Mode is a fantastic place to start. Compared to the standard shooting mode, it tones down the heavy processing and gives you much better control over how light and shadow are handled.
The software side also brings a really interesting feature. If someone shares their shooting settings in the notes, you can actually copy that entire recipe with just 1 tap. It makes recreating specific looks super easy. Honestly, this could go even further. Imagine one-tap AI color matching or saving filters instantly. That would make the whole experience even smoother. Now let's talk about video performance. With version 1.3, there's been a noticeable upgrade. Whether or not this is meant to compete directly with the Apple iPhone, one thing is clear. Oppo has seriously stepped up its video game. You can now shoot grayscale footage in 8K at 30 FPS with log mode enabled. Plus, it supports custom 3D LUTs and even internal recording. That's a big deal because it simplifies the whole process of capturing high-quality video. If you're someone who enjoys filming, whether it's your daily tech lifestyle or even just your pets, you'll definitely see a big improvement in image quality using this mode. Alright, now that we've covered the strengths, let's move on to the downsides. The first issue is the design and color choices. To be honest, it feels like a step backward. The overall look is basically the same as the X9, just scaled down. That's understandable to a point, but if you're not going to innovate, then at least commit to a bold redesign. Maybe expand that metal camera section into a full window-style layout instead of this half measure. Right now, the back has this 3-layered structure with corners that don't quite line up, and it strays pretty far from the clean, minimal style the Find series is known for. And then there's the color situation. For a flagship phone, it's surprising that there aren't any simple light or dark options. The so-called white version doesn't really look white at all, which makes the naming confusing. The cyan color actually looks pretty good, but then there's this odd texture added on top that just doesn't feel premium. In fact, it ends up looking a bit like something you'd expect from a Redmi device, which isn't exactly the vibe you want for a flagship. Now, the second drawback comes down to the small details. It's not just about cutting corners, it's more about a lack of thoughtfulness. The price isn't exactly low, and while you could argue that the flash storage has improved, that alone doesn't justify everything. Yes, the main camera's CMOS color depth has been slightly reduced, but that trade-off makes sense if you're aiming for a larger sensor within a compact 6.32-inch body. Choosing higher megapixels while keeping the phone small is a reasonable compromise. But then you look at other things, like the absence of a USB 3.2 port, no autofocus on the front camera, and limitations in the telephoto setup. These aren't features that would significantly impact thickness, so it's hard to understand why they were left out, especially at this price point. So, should you buy it? Here's the simple advice. If you're already using Android and you're working within a certain budget, the Find X9s Pro is definitely worth considering. Android still offers some clear advantages over iOS, especially when it comes to flexibility. Things like dual apps and overall app freedom make a difference in daily use. When you look at the full package, a 6.3-inch phone with dual 200-megapixel cameras and a massive 7050 mAh battery, it's actually quite impressive. That said, it's not cheap, and Android pricing tends to fluctuate, so it's smart to choose based on your budget. The base model of the Find X9s Pro starts at 5,299 yuan in China, which is roughly £575 in the UK and about $777 in the US. At the right price, it can offer a really complete smartphone experience. And that wraps it up for this video. Catch you in the next one.